Welcome, my friends of the interwebs. Listen, a lot of you have asked me about crypto and if I was going to make this into a crypto channel, and you want to see more crypto videos. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I don't really have time right now in my life to make a dedicated crypto channel or even do a lot of crypto videos. Cryptocurrency is a hobby of mine. I'm not a day trader. I don't even pretend to be an expert in this stuff. Just wanted to share some of the stuff that I was doing with y'all. But having said it, well, you know what? Before I even start anything else, I should say I am not a financial advisor. Do not consider anything that comes out of my mouth to be financial advice. If you do, then you're not the sharpest tool in the shed. Just want to put that out there. This is not advice. I'm just allowing you kind of to know my thoughts. This is purely for educational and entertainment purposes. So, having gotten that out of the way, the world of crypto. Well, first of all, I do want to say, if I was to do a crypto channel, and I'm not ruling it out sometime in the future, but right now you just don't have time for it, it would take a lot of work, and it would require, it would require a lot more effort than I just have. I just don't have that time. I just don't have the ability to put that kind of effort. Let me give you an example. I don't do any of this to make money. There was a time in my life where I did make money off of YouTube, and I made money from different cyber type areas. But let me use YouTube as an example, because with YouTube, when I made money off of YouTube, back in the day when you could make a lot of money, you could. I don't care if anybody tries to tell you, there was a time when the little dude could make a lot of money on YouTube. I worked it every day. Every day. It was a seriously time-consuming job. I mean, every day. And I posted all the time. Every other day, like when I produced the Crystal Blade channel, which became the Mad Voodoo channel, I put up a video every other day for a long time. And we reaped the rewards from that, because at that time the algorithm didn't punish you, and things were different then. Things were more equitable. That's a great word people are using a lot today. It was. Whereas in today's YouTube world, it's just not. They kind of pick and choose who they want to be, where they want them to be, in this, that, and the other. And here's a funny fact. I made decent money on YouTube. I mean, now, depending on what was going on during that situation, whether I was working with Krista Blade or any of the Blade girls or any of that stuff, there was a revenue sharing scheme that we had put together. But for the most part, I'm going to tell you something, and you believe this or don't believe that, I don't really care. I made more money in the first 6 months of my Mad Voodoo OnlyFans than I ever did all of my years combined for YouTube. I'm not kidding you. Now, I understand it's a little bit different, but, well, you know, Patreon's another example. I haven't checked in a long time because Patreon changed the way they did things and what they would or would not allow. But previous to me even being on the OnlyFans, I was, you know, on the Patreon. In that Patreon, the last time I looked, and there was probably about a year there where I was making pretty good money on Patreon. I made over $45,000 on Patreon. And Patreon was actually, in a lot of ways, a better deal for me than YouTube, because with Patreon, for the most part, I either had the content that I'd already paid for, or I bought content. For example, when I very first started my Patreon, Miss Molly, aka Mia Blade, she was my kind of face of or star of that Patreon. And then she ended up getting a boyfriend and ended up getting pregnant by him, and that ended that first wave of her. And she wouldn't return back into my life until when I first started OnlyFans. And but I mean, you know, I had a deal with her where I bought content from her. So anything that Patreon made, I didn't have to split with her because she was paid for her work. And fast forward to OnlyFans, you know, not to talk too much about the behind the scenes or the details about stuff, but I learned a lot of lessons through my YouTube experience and from my Patreon experience, and I did things a little bit different with with the OnlyFans. And now 100% of my OnlyFans revenue belongs to me, which isn't so bad, because OnlyFans, I have so much content, tons and tons and tons of content, that I haven't even begun to edit, because I just don't have time. All of that has been paid for with the models that I work with. So, you live, you learn. Anyway, as far as going back to running a YouTube channel, and although there would be no models involved and none of that stuff that goes along with that, it would still require a lot of effort on my part, because you can't be successful, in anything in life, unless you have the time and the energy and motivation and whatnot. Motivation usually comes from money, to put in the effort. Because if you can't put in the effort, you're never going to be successful, barring those who just get shells lucky. Yeah. So anyway, that is that. And that's kind of why I say that I don't, as far as the crypto channel goes, I don't really feel like I can run a successful crypto channel. But what I can do is share with you my thoughts on crypto, my thoughts on what I've been doing, how I've been doing it. And you take it for what it is. Like I said, education and entertainment. That's it. Never advice. The only advice that I will ever go on record as giving is do not put more money into something. Do not put money into something that you cannot afford to lose. Because at the end of the day, whether it's the stock market, the crypto market, the housing market, it can all go south quick. Nobody's seen a housing market. There are people like, oh, don't buy stocks and don't buy crypto, buy real estate. Well, I see a bubble burst too coming up, by the way. I see what some of the houses on my street are going for, and I shake my head. I think I've seen this before. This is a rerun. Nobody can pay that kind of prices for 3-bedroom ranches in Washington local in Toledo, Ohio. It's not sustainable. It's just not. And I think at some point, that whole house of cards will come crashing down again, which is amazing to me, considering, don't we ever learn? Really? Don't we ever learn? Which brings me back to the crypto thing. I want to tell you something. For me, it's a hobby. I don't have any real money into crypto. I mean, I have, some people I guess would consider it real money. To me, it's not. But if I lost everything in crypto tomorrow, if everything went south in a hurry, I'd still be able to eat. I'd still be able to pay my utilities. I'd still, my medication and my food bill, that's a wholly different animal, because we live in Joe Biden's America now, and as we all know. Anyway, this is not gonna be a political video, although I kind of want to do one pretty soon. I know I told you guys I have a bad ticker, and I do. A lot of health problems, and I do. Blood pressure issues, God knows I do. But you know me, guys. There's something brewing in me. I've got to get it out. Hopefully it doesn't kill me. And I won't even talk about my health right now, because my health is shit. It's just shit. Don't be shocked if you hear tomorrow that I dropped dead. And that's not, it doesn't matter. Who cares? So back to the crypto thing. I want to talk about what I've been doing as far as crypto goes. I want to talk about SHIBA INU. SHIB is the symbol. Because a lot of people have made a lot of money, okay? And sometimes there's an old saying, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And I've actually kind of coined the term, and I get this from my buddy Russ. Let me tell you a real quick backstory. My buddy Russ, I'm not going to use his last name because he didn't give me permission to do any of that. He is a car nut. He's a car guy. He's like a lot like Scotty D as far as that goes. And he was the only person at that moment in time where I actually knew that had any clue about crypto. So I go and I talk to him at his shop. He owns a shop. He's a shop owner, and an automotive shop owner. And he talked to me about a cryptocurrency that he had invested in called VeChain. And he showed me on his phone, he's doing his trading on his phone, where he had put $10,000 into VeChain, and now it was worth $50,000. And I remember saying to him, and if I've told this story before, please forgive me, just it's worth repeating. I said to him, I said, dude, what? Take that 10 grand out, stuff it in your pocket. Now you got 40 large that free and clear. It's the house's money. And he looked at me, and I've never forgot this, and it had a real imprint on me. He said, you know what? He goes, you'll know when I cash out when you see my Lamborghini sitting out front. And in some ways, I respected that. Sometimes you got to swing for the fences. And for those of you who don't know anything about baseball, it's when you're a batter and you get up to the plate, you're not trying to bunt. You're not trying to play it safe and hit into the outfield and get on first base. You're trying to get it over the fences. You're trying for that home run or that grand slam or that triple, that double, whatever. That's swinging for the fences. So Russ was swinging for the fences. And I came up with this, I coined this term, Lamborghini or bust. So when I first got into, first of all, I've been very blessed, and timing is everything in life, so some of it's luck. The old saying that I'd rather be lucky than good any day, it really does apply to everything in life. So I got into Bitcoin when it was reasonably cheap. I got into Ethereum when it was reasonable, like $1,700. Okay, that was how much Ethereum was at the time. Now it's pushing 4,000. I got into Dogecoin, which I still dearly love. Dogecoin at 5 cents. And now it's 25, 26 cents. And at one point, it was even much higher than that. And I'm gonna circle back to that because that's kind of important. And then I got into Shiba Inu and SHIB. I'll just call it SHIB because I have a hard time with that damn dog's name. I got into SHIB when SHIB was, before SHIB gave up another zero. So I got into it. My first buy of SHIB was $50. And I think I ended up with some like 12 or 13 million SHIB, okay? And so now, now it's much higher than that. So here's the thing. When SHIB had that big run-up, and recently, I did have a buddy, I'm not gonna name him, I bust his chops all the time, he busts my chops, whatever, mutual chop busting. He kind of took money off the table. All of his money off the table. And he made a whopping $150 on a $50 investment or something. He's very proud of himself. But if you knew his history of trading with crypto, he needed a win desperately. And he recommended, do the same thing. I'm like, no, I'm not taking anything off the table because Lamborghini or bust. That's kind of how I felt about it. Although lots of things have to happen in SHIB to make that possible. Halvenings and burning of token, which if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. But there are things that need to happen because the supply of SHIB is just really way too high. Anyway, I want to circle back to the Dogecoin thing. With Dogecoin, I bought it at 5 cents, and then when it started its run up, a significant run up, I don't remember at what point I took money off the table. But what I did was I took the same advice that I had given Russ. Take your money off the table that you put into it, and now you're playing with the house's money. And I did. I took all the money, and I actually gave myself an extra $50 to take myself out to a nice dinner at, like, I don't know, Outback or whatever. Ryan Steak, whatever. I gave myself a $50 bonus to take myself out something nice. Get yourself something nice. So, long story short, at some point, to be completely honest, I regretted it. I did. I wish I hadn't done that. And a lot of it has to do with here's the thing. For me, I like to invest in crypto or even stocks that I really believe in. And, whether you believe in Doge or not, I do. And I see a Doge future that is significant. I think it becomes a player in transactions. And more companies are starting to accept Doge. AMC theaters, you can buy your movie ticket, your popcorn, the whole 9 yards using your Doge. So more and more that's happening. I see Doge as a utility coin, to be honest with you. Now, unlike Bitcoin, which, in case you don't know, my view on Bitcoin is that it's a store of value, that it's like gold. But you don't go to the store with a chunk of gold saying, this ain't the 1800s. $20 worth of gold in exchange for some beans and some bread and whatever. That's not Bitcoin's role. Bitcoin's role is to store your value in something that will increase in value, like gold, silver, platinum, whatever. precious metals and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't have the debate on whether or not you can actually touch, Bitcoin versus you can touch gold if you buy physical gold. That's another video, totally another video. And we could have that debate someday if that's what you want to do. But I really did regret selling my Doge, even though all the Doge that I still have, it's all free. It didn't cost me anything. And by no, there is something to be said for not being stressed out if it goes up or goes down. None of it stressed you because it's free money. Although truthfully, you don't want to see, even though it's free money or free crypto, you don't ever want to see anything go to zero because you could have sold that and got yourself a new car or whatever. So as far as rolling back around, kind of circling back around as I like to do, as far as SHIB, it's early yet, but I am impressed with the creators and the directors and the they call them devs, dev as in developer, short for it's kind of crypto slang. The devs seem to be very interested in making SHIB real in the sense that giving it value and utility and all these things. And there's a whole story behind the development of SHIB that I think is interesting. And in a lot of ways, SHIB is more impressive than Doge. But that's a whole nother video too. And listen to me, I'm talking about future videos when I've just told you earlier that I'm not interested in or don't have the time and energy and whatever to do a crypto channel. So that day may come. I don't know. Here's the thing about crypto for me. I do enjoy it. It's like art. A lot of it is a distraction for me because of my life right now, between my health and my mom's health. My mom has dementia. I'm her sole caretaker. I am literally it. And if you have any experience dealing with people with dementia, you know what I'm going through and you know how stressed out I am. And so anything that can be a distraction from that kind of stress is welcome. And that's why I do the art, and that's why I get into the whole crypto thing. By the way, I know that, and I have some people who've been following me for a long time who just don't get crypto. They think it's one big circus scam, kind of a carnival barker type of thing. Get up, step right up, get your crypto here. Yeah. And I get that, and I understand where you're coming from, and hopefully you're wrong. I think you are. Too many deep pocketed, uber wealthy people and institutions have been buying crypto for it to not be the future. Now, whether that future is a utopian or a dystopian future or a utopian future, still, who knows? But there is something to be said for a currency like Bitcoin, who has a finite, there's 21 million Bitcoins. They will never be more than 21 million Bitcoins, versus what we see at the Fed and the printing presses that have smoke coming off of them because they're just printing the bejeebas out of money. And at some point, it becomes Venezuela. People are eating their dogs and cats. Anyway, listen, everybody, I've really enjoyed this, and if you want some to comment, please do. I don't know if I'm putting this up on Facebook or YouTube, probably YouTube, maybe both. Comment. If you want to get into crypto, by all means, get a hold of me. Friend me on my Facebook, Colonel Richard Hunter, COL Richard Hunter. Friend me. When you friend me, though, if I don't know you, we don't have any mutual friends, you need to send me a message, say, yo, bro, crypto, and but there will be a fairly quick video coming up soon because I do want to talk one more thing about crypto, and that is a lot of the pump and dump schemes and the pump and dump channels and why they do what they do, but that's a whole nother video. I may actually do that video right after this and then put that up first. I don't know. Who knows? But get a hold of me if you're going to get into crypto for the first time. I'll send you a link to Coinbase that will give you $10 in Bitcoin. I'll get $10. You'll get $10 if you use that link. If you go in with at least $100. It's a win-win for both of us. I have other links too I can give that will be mutually beneficial if you're interested. If you are not interested, do not mess with it. But if you're interested in it, it's kind of the wild, wild west right now. There's a whole lot of things going on that are scrupulous and unscrupulous, tons of stuff. It's kind of exciting. And like I said, it's a major distraction for me. So anyway, that's all I got. Everybody take care. Peace. By the way, I'm not editing shit.